commercial cloud-based services offer a wealth of powerful tools to the European research community. But for many researchers, these are currently out of reach, with suitable services being difficult to find and adopt. OCRE addressed this by running a pan-European tender and establishing framework agreements with cloud service providers that meet the specific requirements of the research community, saving institutions the time-consuming and complex process of doing this themselves. Researchers benefited from the €9.5 million in adoption funding. Barriers preventing service providers from offering services to research are minimized. Customer requirements are made easier to understand for service providers, allowing them to tailor their offering to the research community. OCRE has also piloted the funding distribution and procurement processes for Earth observation research projects and suppliers. Bringing all this together, OCRE creates a single market for digital services benefiting Europe's research and providing an outlet for commercial providers to participate in the European Open Science Cloud. Here are a few of the research projects impacted. OCRE's adoption funding was a stimulus for a number of projects. The agile processes allowed researchers fast response to emergencies, including COVID.
Let's say governments throughout the world at the moment are introducing many measures. Many of them are voluntary, some are mandatory, all aimed to curb the spread of COVID-19. To what extent do factors of human emotional well-being and particularly personality affect compliance to these measures? To do this, we're building machine learning models to help us predict these behaviors, and that's where OCRE comes in. I had some ideas that I wanted to push out there, but that presented two principal problems, right? And they're almost always the same. That's human resources and infrastructure. As an early career researcher from a small institute, from a small country, these are generally my problems. We're not bounded by ideas that we can generate. Ideas are usually plenty, but it's limitation of resources and limitations in funding opportunities where very often we'd have to say, I'll have to compete against institutions and researchers with Goliath-like infrastructures. OCRE gave me the opportunity to dedicate resources solely on a single project with a single aim. And it also gave me, like, besides the material benefits and the sort of direct benefits that OCRE gave, it allowed me to focus and stimulated me to reach out to my colleagues. And we started building a little team to work on this specific project. And it was all sort of, the whole stimulus was the OCRE project. I think the impact on my team is fairly clear, right? The project just would not have got off the ground without sometimes when you have data, you can have an idea, but you need a spark, you need something to sort of give you the courage to go on. And I think OCRE not only gave us the resources, but it also sort of pushed us a little bit to get there.
Another benefit is providing the research community with flexibility.
I'm researching two-dimensional materials, layered materials. I think everyone will have heard of graphene. Become aware of many thousands of possible other layered materials that have applications in quantum technologies, in energy materials, in healthcare. We're an experimental group doing work based at synchrotrons around the world. And this project enables us also to model those materials computationally and to get insight into which are the new interesting candidates. So the impact of the OCRE project on my research has been an increased flexibility in how I spend my computing resources. I'm used to working on an on-site supercomputer where you have a limit on the number of cores and a time limit, but on average you can spend a certain amount. With this project and using cloud resources, I can choose to use a lot more cores for a shorter period if I wish, and so I can adapt the way I use the computing to the problem I'm solving. I can also include undergraduate projects as part of my work. Undergraduates have a very short timescale, so you need to be flexible and to be able to react quickly. They can't work in a paced, slow way. And I think those advantages apply to anyone. I'm not an untypical user in any way. I also see cloud-based computing, because of the flexibility about configuration and compute instances, attracting new users from disciplines who haven't traditionally been HPC users. And I think they'll benefit from these advantages. So it's developing a new community, I think.
Machine learning is opening up new applications for drones. One project funded by OCRE is for algorithms for decentralized machine learning control for drones. The project creates algorithms enabling groups of autonomous drones to safely perform complex tasks in unknown environments using onboard sensors and inter-drone communication. To do this, they must perform environmental mapping, localization, path planning, target detection and tracking, and flight control. Applications of this technology include prevention and assistance with natural disasters, such as floods, earthquakes, wildfires, etc., inspection and maintenance of industrial infrastructure, assistance with search and rescue operations, and tracking the spread of disease. The researchers received support for virtual machines with both strong CPUs and GPUs, as well as machine learning toolsets. The project's involvement with OCRE has resulted in access to state-of-the-art technology, flexibility with lower investments, increased speed of implementation, particularly the time savings from not having to acquire, provision, implement and configure AI sources, more IT know-how, leaving the research team to focus more on the scientific applications of the project, and lower costs due to no longer needing to invest in the compute infrastructure. OCRE's results brought the European research community more agility and capability, and commercial providers with a clearer route to support the research community. Discover our results. Visit ocreproject.eu results for more information.